Hi, welcome back. It's Susan Johnson, and today I'm going to be doing a special reading for Pickett Academy Elementary. Go Pickett Tigers. Thank you very much for purchasing my books, and they requested a reading of Little Red and the Crocodile. But first, let me tell you a bit about the story and the characters. And so this is my fractured fairy tale version of Little Red Riding Hood. And in this version, we have Zara. This is a character doll I had created. And Zara is my niece. And in the story, you find out what happens on her venture. And of course, you can't have Little Red Riding Hood without the antagonist or the villain. And I have Cory the Crocodile. He's also inspired by my friend's son, who is Cory. And yes, he allowed me to use his name and let him be a crocodile. So hopefully you enjoy the book and definitely check it out. So, Little Red and the Crocodile. And if you notice, it is an anime style drawing, which I also love. So I had to try to insert it in a few of my stories. And you may see a few more with this style of illustrations. Now, it says, I love fairy and folk tales as a child. Yes, I did. I read them repeatedly, and as a media specialist, I rediscovered some of the classics, and I could not wait to share this and other versions of these tales. So definitely look out for more. So let's begin with this version. Once upon a time, at least that's how most fairy tales begin. So once upon a time, it was the first day of spring break, and Zara was excited about her visit to her auntie's house. Every spring break, Zara spent time with Auntie Moshi. This year, Zara was old enough to walk by herself, and she was overjoyed. That Saturday morning, Zara put on her favorite red coat because her best friend Jessie had given it to her. Zara wore it all the time, and that's how she got her nickname, Little Red. Zara grabbed the bag with goodies for her Auntie Moshi. And Zara's mom made a sweet roll, peanut pralines, homemade patties, and Auntie Moshi's favorites. So you can see she's ready to go Saturday morning with all the goodies for her Auntie Moshi. As Zara was about to open the door, her mom said, Zara, remember to go straight to your auntie's house. Yes, mother, said Zara. Do not stop and talk to other neighbors or your friends. Yes, mother, said Zara. And when you get there, remember your manners. Always say please and thank you. Yes, mother, said Zara. All right. Love it. When Zara walked out the door, her heart raced as she ran down the path with excitement. She felt like the world was hers to explore. Little Red practically danced as she headed down towards Auntie Moshi's house. Her red coat was bright in the sun and everyone could see her coming. Mr. Leon, the florist, smiled and called Zara to him. She gleefully ran up to the outside flower stand. Mr. Leon told Zara to smell the new gardenias that had arrived that morning. She bent down to smell the beautiful bouquet, and the gardenia scent was as sweet as candy. And the aroma from the roses, petunias, and lilies were heavenly too. Zara lost track of the time and did not realize it until Mr. Leon asked her where she was going so early in the day. Zara panicked and worried about disobeying her mother by stopping to talk to Mr. Leon. Without answering the question, Zara thanked Mr. Leon for the few samples that he gave her and quickly headed towards Auntie Moshi's house. Little Red thought, I'm sure Mama won't mind one stop because Auntie Moshi would love these Louisiana irises. And she's had it again. Now, living in the heart of the marshy swamp can be a problem for most, but Aunt Moshi loved it there. Zara also enjoyed the journey there. Since Zara knew the path so well, she jogged, skipped, and danced her way along towards the small villa. Along the way, she imagined all sorts of tales surrounding the swamp. There were dragons and wolves and bears around every tree. And who should she meet? When Zara was about halfway to her auntie's house, she heard a rustling in the bushes. For a second, Zara wondered if it was her best friend Jessie trying to play a trick on her. Unfortunately, it was not Jessie. Surprised, it was a crocodile. Zara froze, but then she thought as the crocodile smiled and bowed toward her. Zara returned the smile and bowed, having been taught it was good manners to reply in kind. The crocodile introduced himself as Cory the Crocodile. He told Zara that he was out for his early morning exercise. Zara was immediately at ease as she listened to his adventures prior to meeting her. The croc asked Zara where she was off to so early in the morning. She said, "I'm on my way to visit my Auntie Moshi." Zara rambled on and on about her day's plan. Cory listened with intent. His expression never changed no matter what he was thinking. When Zara finished, he asked her what her name was, and she said Zara. Then she quickly added, "But everyone calls me Little Red." The croc offered to join her on her journey. Zara wasn't sure she could trust such a creature, but she did not want to be rude. Yes was all Zara said. So now she has a companion. As they headed towards Auntie Moshi's, Cory pointed out all the wonderful fruit trees. He suggested that she should pick some fresh fruit for her Auntie Moshi. Zara thought that was a wonderful idea. Cory the Croc said that he had to go to visit his grandmother, so they parted ways. As Zara waved goodbye, she thought to herself, he's a nice crocodile. As Cory waved goodbye, he thought, I can't wait to get to Auntie Moshi's house to have a brunch and snack. And this is Auntie Moshi, and later I'll tell you who inspired that character. A little while later, the crocodile knocked at the door. "Come in," said Auntie Moshi. Cory the Crocodile walked in, and Auntie Moshi looked up to say hello to her niece. Before she could scream for help, everything went black. It is a strange feeling being swallowed whole, thought Auntie Moshi. She hoped that the local park ranger, Mr. Randy, would come by before it was too late. Cory felt satisfied with his meal, almost. A little after-meal snack would not hurt, he thought, as Little Red popped into his mind. And they meet again. So the croc got into Auntie Moshi's reclining chair. He pulled her blanket up almost over his head and put on her bonnet and pretended to be asleep. A few moments later, there was a knock at the door. "Come in," said a shrill voice inside. Zara bounced into the room, ready to tell her auntie about her adventures as she had on the way to her house. She stopped in her tracks when she saw her aunt tucked under blankets, with only her piercing eyes looking back at her. "Auntie Moshi, are you all right?" Her aunt just whispered, "I have a cold, dear." Zara put the back of her hand on her Auntie Moshi's forehead, but it did not feel hot. Rather, it felt cold. "Auntie, your eyes look so strange. Are you tired?" "No," Auntie whispered. "Maybe it's my allergies, honey." Zara stepped closer and pulled down the blankets. Then she gasped when she saw the familiar scaly skin of a crocodile. She tried to scream, but everything went black. As Zara looked at her Auntie Moshi with the fright, she wondered how they were going to get out of this mess. Meanwhile, after his snack, Cory the Crocodile decided to take a nap. Suddenly, there was another knock at the door. Zara and her auntie moved with glee because they suspected that Ranger Randy would be at the door. Cory the Crocodile jumped up and hid in Auntie Moshi's bedroom. Ranger Randy called out, but there wasn't a response. So he went further into the home and followed the slight noises that he heard coming from the bedroom. As he entered, he saw Corey getting ready to climb out of the window. The ranger grabbed his tail and pinned the croc down to the ground. As a wildlife specialist for the swamp, he knew all about local animals. He also had experiences with some alligators and crocodile wrestling. Ranger Randy used his skills to pry open the mouth of the crocodile, and as he suspected, he saw Little Red and her Auntie Moshi. The ranger pulled them out one at a time. Then he clamped the mouth of Corey the Croc with some handy duct tape. And you could see poor Corey. Auntie Moshi and Zara thanked the ranger. They invited him to a family dinner that evening. Ranger Randy agreed to come back after he took the croc to the local wildlife preserve. And Corey's all locked up. Zara and Auntie Moshi began cleaning up the mess that was left by their encounter with the crocodile. Then they started making a quick lunch, followed by a special dinner for Ranger Randy. Over the next few days, Zara enjoyed spending time with her Auntie Moshi. As Zara walked home from her visit with her favorite aunt, she thought about all that had happened since her arrival. She felt that she had grown up a bit in the past few days, and although there were some bright, tight situations, she was glad that she had used her manners and that Ranger Randy used his skills. Zara vowed to follow her mother's rules from now on. Go straight to your destination, use your manners, do not share personal information with strangers, and never give up. And in the back, I have some great pictures of the Louisiana swamp and where I got some of my inspirations. An acrostic poem that you could create out of the letters for Little Red. And I wanted to tell you guys that my other two main characters, Ranger Randy reminds me of my brother. He inspired this story. As well as Auntie Moshi. It's my friend Moshiri. And yes, I thought she would make a wonderful auntie for Zara. All right, so I hope that you enjoy this reading of Little Red and the Croc. And if you want to find out more information, check the links below. And please leave comments. Let me know what you think after you've read my other books or this book. And Picket Tigers, enjoy your day. Bye.